What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another LEGO YouTube video. It is of course the end of the month, so that means it is time to do an updated LEGO collection tour, and since we kind of skipped the month of December, there's a lot more to show you guys in this month's collection tour than I feel like there has been in a while. So I'm very excited to go through everything that is new and everything that we've kind of reorganized too. Also of note for this video, we are going to be joined by our new family cat, Ruby, so here she is. But anyway, now that we have that out of the way, let's go ahead and get straight into the collection tour. I kind of forgot everything that was brand new from the last one, so we're just going to do a quick overview of everything. And starting off the collection tour, we're going to do one of my favorite parts of the collection, which is my Avengers Tower and my LEGO Marvel City display. So first off, we of course have the Avengers Tower, which has several minifigures posed around it. I really like the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man posed over here, as well as the Spider-Man Homecoming minifigures too. So there's a lot of stories on this Avengers Tower that I'm very proud of displaying with it. And we've also got this Leviathan down towards the center of the Avengers Tower and the Daily Bugle. That's just posed on the Town Shop modular, or the Townhouse modular, which is half of the Pet Shop modular from I think it's 2012. And then right next to it, we of course have the first Marvel modular building, which is the Daily Bugle. And one of my favorite sets, I love the stories here. I love the kind of Green Goblin bursting out the window and MJ falling out of the window. And we've got Captain Marvel and Mysterio up top here, as well as Firestar off to the right. And then we've got Nova down here. And then right next to Nova, we of course have the Gargantos Showdown. And then we have the Sanctum Sanctorum below it, which is really cool. We have various minifigures posed from Doctor Strange and Multiverse of Madness. So that's the LEGO Marvel City. Very proud of it. Lots of stories to tell. Definitely let me know which one is your favorite down in the comments. And then next to this, we have my Season 7 of Star Wars The Clone Wars poster, which looks pretty cool. And then right above this, we have my modular LEGO City, and we also have Diagon Alley and Gringotts Bank all the way to the end of it. The first modular in this series, though, is the Palace Cinema. It's our corner building, and I think it looks really cool. I love the custom posters I added, and it's just got a very nice look to it. It's one of my most nostalgic modulars. And then right next to it, we have Assembly Square, which is another really cool modular building. I think this retires soon. And then we also have the Thor, Love, and Thunder Goat Boat above it, and then we do have the Jazz Club next to it. We changed up the Falcon minifigure over here, so I like how that looks, and the Jazz Club is just a very nice looking modular building. Reminds me a lot of the Palace Cinema. And then right next to it, we have the Parisian Restaurant, which I think blends in really nicely with that kind of like yellow pizzeria that the Jazz Club has. And I really love the Parisian Restaurant. That's a modular we picked up last March, and one of my favorite modulars. I've got Tony Stark and Pepper on a date, and then Coulson is over there too. And then we have Mando and Grogu sitting on the bench outside. We've got the other half of the Pet Shop, which was my first ever modular building in the collection. And then we have my favorite modular building, which is of course the Detective's Office from 2015. Tons of nostalgia with this one, and I just love the color scheme and that pool sign off to the side. It's a very well done modular. And then next to this is the police station, which recently retired, and I'd imagine has gone up a lot in value, though I'm not sure how much, but it's definitely a bit over market price now, I would imagine. And then right next to it, we have the brand new to 2024 modular building, the museum, which is the second modular building to be featured on 1.5 base plates, and it is definitely a very impressive display. And then right next to it, we have one of my favorite of the recent modulars, the Boutique Hotel, which has just such a unique shape to it and has so many cool building techniques in it. And then we also transition us now into Diagon Alley. All the way in the corner, we have the Quality Quidditch Shop, and then we've got the bookstore, and then we of course have the newly added Gringotts Bank to the display. We've got the Ukrainian Iron Belly up the very top of it, which I think looks really impressive. I'm very happy with that display decision. And then we've of course got all of our goblins down here with some Death Eaters and some prison guards, or I guess bank guards. It's not really a prison, but next to it, we have Ollivanders and Scribulus, and then you can also see Nocturne Alley, as well as Weasley's Wizard Weaves, and we've got Bellatrix coming out of Nocturne Alley as she's recently escaped from Azkaban. And then on top of our display, we have the Hogwarts house banners, which look really cool. Let me know down in the comments which house you are. I am a Gryffindor, but I really like how this display looks. It's one of my favorites in the collection. I love the LEGO sets that you can hang up, and I'm very happy with this kind of city tour. I think the banners really tie together the Diagon Alley display. And then right below Gringotts, I have the mine portion of the Gringotts Bank displayed here. And another really cool part of the set, I feel like a lot of people hate on that part, but I really like the mines, and I've got it positioned right underneath Gringotts spots. We've got the Diagon Alley plaque that you give Diagon Alley, and we've got this Thestral carriage over here. We've got this small poly bag, and we've got empty space for Hogwarts eventually. And then we also have Hogsmeade over on the other side, and then that kind of transitions us into the Hocus Pocus display. And then we've got other Halloween sets such as the Monster Fighters Haunted House. We have the Stranger Things Upside Down and the Brickheads, and then all the way to the edge here, we do have the Ghostbusters Ecto-1, which is one of my favorite Halloween LEGO sets, and I think it looks really nice. It's one of the few kind of like big LEGO icon sets that I do have, and I really like the kind of Halloween display. I think it blends in very nicely with the Harry Potter stuff. And then below it, we have the Beatles Yellow Submarine, one of my favorite LEGO sets I've gotten recently. We also have the Tutu camper van. You can see the Beetle minifigures down here too. And then we also have our CMF minifigure display, which features various minifigures from Series 1 all the way up until Series 15. And then right next to it, we have Magisto's Magical Workshop, as well as the Lion Knight's Castle, which is one of my favorite displays here. I've got tons of stories on the Lion Knight Castle, such as this guy in a dragon costume attacking the castle. And then I added one of my duplicate Series 12 princess minifigures to it as well, and I just think this display looks really, really nice. I love posing the actual minifigures included, and then adding a few of my own. Here is, of course, the Series 12 princess over here on this little tower over here. We've got some soldiers posed on top of the castle with that nice little flag, and then we have the forest hideout right next to it, which looks very nice. And then all the way over here, we do have the Home Alone house. It doesn't really fit in here, but I still think it looks cool. I love all of the details with this set, and it's one of my bigger LEGO sets too, so it's kind of fun having it next to another one of my biggest ones, the Lion Knight Castle. And that's kind of everything over my desk area. Next up, we have the stuff that's actually on my desk, which is mainly just these minifigure shadow boxes LEGO-wise. We do have a few other non-LEGO things up here, such as the Star Wars posters all the way over here. And then we do also have some Star Wars art prints, which look pretty cool. But first off, let's get into the shadow boxes, which do line up. This is a new one for this month. It is the Marvel Superheroes shadow box. We kind of split this up with the villains like I did with the DC ones, but very cool. We've got some of the new X-Men minifigures inside of here, tons of cool minifigures. And next up, we have the Marvel Super Villains shadow box, which is another one I really like a lot. I think it really comes together, and I'm very happy I decided to split up the two shadow boxes so that I was able to fit more minifigures. And then a display that hasn't really changed, but I will still show off, is my DC Superhero shadow box, which is one of my favorites. It's got the Teen Titans in here, as well as the Bat Family and some Justice League members, so I really like this display. And then right next to it, we of course have the DC Super Villains, which is probably my favorite out of everything I have, either this or my Star Wars prequel shadow box. Tons of cool minifigures in there, including my most expensive, which is the LEGO Movie 2 Harley Quinn minifigure. So very cool minifigures in all of these shadow boxes. I'm really proud of this display, and it looks really nice all lit up, all next to each other. It looks very impressive. And then above it, but I thought, not really LEGO, but I thought I'd show it off anyway, is my Funko Pop collection. So I really like these guys. My favorite is probably the Season 7 Ahsoka and that Chewbacca, as well as the Boba Fett, but tons of cool Funko Pops. We've got a Puffle that my brother made, and then we've also got this McDonald's Wild Style cup, which actually has two different kind of prints on it, depending on the angle that you can look at it from. And then the last thing over my desk area is, of course, this small little like nightstand kind of. I don't really use it as a nightstand, but it's got UCS R2D2, UCS BD1, and at the very bottom we have this skeleton head, which is actually a storage bin for some minifigures, so I'll show that off. But here's what the nightstand looks like from a distance, and inside of the skeleton head we have all of my kind of random LEGO minifigures. Also inside of this bin are just like minifigure parts, so we've got like minifigure heads, torsos, legs, and accessories. So very cool. I love this skeleton head. Definitely would recommend it. Everything fits in there very nicely. And then below my desk, we have my loose parts bin too. And this is like sorted by color. Got tons of different parts inside of here. And then inside of my closet, we have my kind of boxes of LEGO sets, because I do like to keep most of them. And then you can see like we've got like the UCS Venator box over here. We've got my bag of brick separators over here too, as well as the smaller skeleton head. We've got some Black Panther sets I didn't choose to display. We've also got some Ninjago minifigures over here. And then we have my other loose parts bins. These are more specifically for my display stands. We've got the transparent pieces over here. We've got some plates, or those are the tiles actually over there. And we have the plate plates for the stands too. And then below it we have my extra minifigures. This is our DC one, and then right below it we have my extra Marvel minifigures, which looks pretty cool. And then below this guy I have my extra Star Wars minifigures. So I love organizing those. I do wish to display them, but sometimes you just don't have space. So now let's go ahead and get into the next part of the LEGO collection. And so we'll go ahead and start off the next part with the Star Wars collection. We've got my Empire Strikes Back poster, and then above this we have my Return of the Jedi display, which has of course the Ewok Village, a highly sought after LEGO set and one of my favorites in the collection. Next to it we have the Endor Speeder Chase diorama, which is another really cool set, and that is next to of course the Final Battle diorama from Return of the Jedi, and then we have the Imperial Shuttle all the way in the back there. So I love how that shelf comes together. And then one of the parts of the collection that did change kind of this month is my Ninjago City display. First off, we moved to the Bo-Katan art to allow space for an expansion on this shelf, and we also brought down the LEGO bonsai tree and had this displayed here. We've got the 20th anniversary Star Wars minifigures over here too, and then we also have Ninjago City Gardens, and then next to the gardens is of course Ninjago City Markets. I added a few minifigures to the gardens, like the samurai and the kendo fighter on the top of the roof there, and I think what I really love about this display is just how much is going on over here. It's a very, very detailed display with tons of stories over here. Now we have the new Ninjago City Markets of last year, and I really like this part of the display too, though I think the gardens are still kind of my favorite out of the two, but both sets are really cool. I love all of the different colors that they use for the sets, and I love just the look of everything that they have here. There's a ton of detail here, though also a lot of stickers for this set, but still a really cool display in my opinion. And then kind of in the background of this, we have the Hokusai Great Wave set, which is a really fun art set, though it's kind of covered up a bit here, so not the best display space for it, but I still think it does look cool. And then another new addition that we added to the collection this month was a brand new shadow box to the kind of Star Wars display. It's not Star Wars, it's Harry Potter, but it's displayed over here. And these guys can light up, and the first one that we'll take a look at is my original trilogy shadow box, which looks really cool. I'm very proud of this display. I love all of the Imperial troopers that we have inside of this display. I think it looks really nice. And then right next to this, we have my Star Wars The Clone Wars / Bad Batch / Star Wars Rebels display, and we added some of the new Ahsoka minifigures to this display. All we need is Grand Admiral Thrawn to complete the display, though I hear we're getting an updated minifigure of him soon. And then we also have one of my favorite shadow boxes in the collection, the Star Wars prequel shadow box. We've got a few Clone Wars minifigures in here too, though, but I really like this display a lot. It has some of my favorite Star Wars minifigures inside of it, so very happy with the Star Wars shadow boxes. I don't really think I would get another one. Maybe I'd get a sequel trilogy one, but the new shadow box is of course the LEGO Harry Potter one, which is kind of out of place here, but I still think it looks really cool. We just need Professor Slughorn to complete that display, and I think it looks really cool next to the Star Wars one. Not the ideal placement for it, but it works. And we've also got some empty space over here that will hopefully fill up in the month of February. So I'm excited for those expansions. It's not a lot of space, but it is some space. And then we also have my TV cabinet over here below it. We actually got a new TV stand this month to kind of elevate the TV a bit more and to get some more room on the display space here. So I've got my Amiibos and the Office Lego set, as well as my Tears of the Kingdom Nintendo Switch, and then we also have my Xbox, which I don't really use too much, so I might put some Lego sets there instead. And then inside of this drawer, we actually have my Nintendo Switch game library, which is pretty cool. And then also one of my favorite parts of the room is my Star Wars rug that I got from Ruggable. I think this looks really nice and it really ties together all of the Lego room. I love having it. It's a very cool print. And then we've also got my Mandalorian shelf over here, which is of course started by the UCS Razor Crest, a amazing Lego Star Wars set, one of my favorite UCS sets in the collection. And then below it, we've got the buildable Grogu set, as well as some sets from Mandalorian Season 1 and Season 3. And then new to this month is the Boba Fett's Throne Room from the Book of Boba Fett. And I thought that kind of finished up this display very nicely. Very proud of that Mandalorian shelf. And then right next to it, we have my kind of UCS Millennium Falcon shelf over here, which will continue the UCS set kind of collection over here. So first off, we have the UCS Millennium Falcon, still remains my favorite set in the collection. And then we also have Boba Fett's Starship Microfighter below it. And then on the other side, we have the Millennium Falcon Microfighter. So I thought that was a cool display to include. We've got the holiday diorama below it. And then we also have the display plaque and the minifigures for the UCS Millennium Falcon. Below it, we've got some space reserved for the UCS AT-AT. And then we also have the Probe Droid UCS set. And then we've got some Hoth Rebels and a Snow Speeder off to the side here. And then we also have the Rebel Snow Snowspeeder on the other side. So I think this looks pretty cool. I'm excited to add the UCS AT-AT to it. And then we also have my Star Wars art, which has started off with the 332nd Trooper, which uses pieces from the Sith art. We've got Darth Vader over here. We've got Boba Fett, which uses pieces from the Jim Lee Batman art collection. And I think these three mosaics look really cool and kind of fill in that empty space nicely. And then we have another shelf above those, which we'll get into now. First off, we have some space reserved for the Death Star, which is another kind of white whale set that we'll probably not get for a while. And then we also have some Ahsoka sets and some Mandalorian Season 3 sets over here. I really like the kind of Imperial TIE Fighter fleet that we have going on here, as well as the Inquisitor transport scythe. We've also got Vader's castle over here, as well as the Ahsoka Jedi shuttle. We've got Yavin 4 and the 2012 Y-Wing. Also in this display is the brand new Ghost and Phantom 2, and we have the Tantive 4 and Luke Skywalker's X-Wing. I really like this shelf. I think it looks really impressive because of how high up everything is, and there's just a lot going on here, but I really like how I've organized it all, and it's one of my favorite parts of the Star Wars collection. And another one of my favorite parts of the collection is, of course, my UCS Venator display and my UCS Gunship display. Both of these sets look great next to each other, and I'm very proud of those. And then below it, we've got some other small side builds. We've got the speeder from the new Clone Battle Pack, and then we also have the UCS Gunship display plaque. We've got 2020's AAT. We have the droid from the new Battle Pack, as well as that little small speeder for the battle droid. We've got the UCS display plaque for the Venator, and we've got some super battle droids in the Clone Command Station. We've gone ahead and fixed our super battle droids so they're ready to take down our clone troopers, but I think that's a really cool display piece. I really like that shelf. It's very, very nicely. I feel like I use the space a lot, and I'm really happy with the sets we were able to put in it. And then below it, we've got some more Clone Wars stuff. We've got the new gunship from September, and we also have the ATTE and the Clone Turbo Tank. We've got the Mandalorian Starfighter and the Bad Batch Attack Shuttle. Below it, we've got the Bounty Hunter gunship and the Justifier and a few other Separatist/Dark Side sets. We've got some brickheads below that, and then we have our dual sets at the very bottom. Over here, we have my Death Star display, which has the two dioramas, as well as the gifts of purchase from May the 4th last year. And then we also have my Star Wars Hoth display, which has some of my first LEGO sets in the collection, like the Hoth Wampa Cave. We've got our Return of the Jedi display, and then we also have my Jabba's Sail Barge display up here. I really like the Desert Skiff Escape and the Sail Barge, and we've also got Boba Fett Slave 1 in the middle of all that. It looks very cool. Above this, we have my Mandalorian display, which has the Imperial Light Cruiser, as well as the Dark Trooper Attack and the Armored Marauder, which looks really nice, and that kind of completes the main section of my Star Wars display, though there are still a few other Star Wars sets sprinkled around the LEGO room. The first we'll look at is, of course, the complete helmet series. My favorite is probably Captain Rex, and I also really like the Boba Fett helmet and the Vader helmet, and we have every single one in the entire helmet series, including the TIE Fighter pilot, and I think these guys look really cool, kind of elevated and all together. They look very impressive. And then right below this, we have my Tatooine display, which we added a decent amount to this month. I still want to get Obi-Wan's hut, but we've got the Tatooine homestead, as well as Trouble on Tatooine over here. And then we do, of course, still have the Cantina display, which is kind of the big highlight of this entire shelf. We've got Luke Skywalker's land speeder posed next to the main part of the cantina, which looks really impressive. We also have the dewback all the way off to the side here, and the cantina remains one of my favorite LEGO sets in the collection and one of my favorite displays. I feel like it looks really cool from a distance too, and I'm very happy with the Tatooine display that I've created over here. And that kind of concludes everything with the Star Wars section, so I know most of y'all are only interested in the Star Wars stuff, so this is where you can click off if that's the case, but if not, we've got some other cool stuff to show you. Right now, we're going to go ahead and get into our superhero display, which is another one of my favorites. The first shelf we'll look at, which I added a decent amount to this month, is the UCS Marvel shelf over here. First off, we have the Benatar from 2021. We have Star-Lord's helmet, as well as some brickheads, Baby Rocket's ship, the Bowie, Rocket's Warbird, which came out recently, and Arisham's Shadow. We've got the Captain America shield. We also have Mjolnir. We have the Infinity Gauntlet, UCS Hulkbuster, and the Black Panther bust. So really cool shelf. Below it, we've got the 1989 Batmobile, which is a great set, one of my favorite Batman sets in the collection. Behind it, we have the new Shadow Box from Batman Returns, and we have a few other small Batman sets in front of it, like the Clayface Splat Attack. So I think this shelf looks really nice from a distance. There's a lot going on here, and it's kind of like this ultimate Batman display. And speaking of Batman, we also have the Jim Lee Batman art. I want to kind of expand it a little bit, though, to include the Catwoman one if you get two sets. And then we also have this cool 1989 Batwing set hung up on the wall, which I think looks really cool. Below it, we have the 89 Batwing plaque, and we have the 2020 version of the Batmobile. I thought that looked nice next to it because it's kind of, it looks like the Tim Burton Batmobile, but it's not not quite the same one. And then over here we have the UCS tumbler from I think 2021, and we also have the minifigure scale one. And then below this we've got the 2012 version of the Batcave, a very nostalgic set for me. We've got the Dark Knight Rises set. We've also got some classic Batman minifigures from 2006. We have Arkham Asylum below it and the Dynamic Duo Funhouse Escape, some more kind of nostalgic DC sets. And then below it we have some of my few Justice League and Superman sets. We've got the Darkseid Invasion as well as the Brainiac Attack, Joker Steamroller, and we have 2 iterations of the Lex Luthor mechs, which is pretty cool. And we still have the Batwing hiding in the back there, so there is no escape from Batman, it looks like. And then we also have the Batman Batcave, and then we've got the Batman Batmobile and the classic TV series Batmobile. Below it we've got my Lego books and some of my comics, and then we also have my air purifier, which I'm going to be honest, it's not the most effective thing, but it definitely does help a little bit, because you can still see there's still a bit of dust build up over here. Anyway, though, now we're going to get into the Marvel stuff, and first off, we've got my Iron Man shelf. We've got the Nano Gauntlet and the Iron Man helmet. We've also got the Hall of Armor, which has tons of Iron Man suits and is one of my favorite parts of my Iron Man collection. Below it, we've got this shelf, which we added a decent bit to this month. We added the No Way Home expansion set with the Lizard and Sandman, which looks pretty cool, and definitely makes the No Way Home Final Battle diorama look a lot more hectic than it already was. And then we've got the Miles Morales car below here, and we also have the Web Warriors Bridge Battle. And then I also added the Venom head to this shelf too, so lots going on here. One of my favorite Marvel shelves. Below we've got the X-Men shelf, we've got the Wolverine mech as well as the 2014 and 2024 X-Jets. Do not buy the 2024 one at full price. I use VIP points and I still regret it. And then below this we also have my Endgame display shelf and some Infinity War sets too. One of the new ones that we added to it is, of course, that Black Panther set in the background over here from Infinity, where we've got the Endgame Final Battle from this year, or I guess last year, and then we also have the 2021 iteration of it. And then all the way in the background over there, we do have Bro Thor's New Asgard from 2021. Below this, we have some of the 2023 wave sets of Marvel, which is, of course, the new Quinjet from last year. And then we also have the Marvel CMF minifigures, too. We also have Ghost Rider's bike over here, as well as the Captain America and Black Widow bikes. And we do have the complete Series 1 and Series 2 of Lego Marvel CMFs, though I am borrowing Kate Bishop and Beast for my other Marvel Shadow Box, but I do have duplicates of those minifigures on the way. They just didn't get here in time for this recording. And then we also have the Hydra sub and the Black Panther War on the Water at the very bottom here. And that kind of concludes the superhero display, so very cool. I've been adding a lot to this recently, and I still want to add a few things here and there, but that's pretty cool. And then next up we have my kind of miscellaneous Lego shelf, but mostly Nintendo display sets over here. First off, we moved over the Friends Central Perk and the Lego Seinfeld set on this very top shelf over here, and I think those fit together very nicely, two of the sitcom sets. And then we've also got the Mighty Bowser down here and the Lego NES. I love the detail of him playing the NES. I thought that was a really cool way to display him. And then below it we have the other half of the NES as well as the cartridge. We've got some Mario polybags, and we also have the Super Mario 64 question mark block, and then we have the Piranha Plant, which came out last November. So I'm really happy with this Nintendo display. I hear we're getting a great Deku Tree from Legend of Zelda next year, so that'll be fun to display. And we also have my Nintendo art above my bed here, so we might put a shelf here in the future, but I don't really know as of now. But next up, we also reorganized my instructions this month. I got these Sterilite bins to display them in, and it makes it a lot easier to flip through them and use them if I want to rebuild a Lego set. We've also got some Harry Potter stuff in this first bin. The next bin is my superhero instruction bin, and we've got it separated by cardboard. We've got the Lego Marvel instructions, and then on the other side of the cardboard we of course have the Lego DC instructions. So I really like how I was able to organize this. We also have this miscellaneous bin right here, which has some stuff from Lego Mixels. We've got Lego Monster Fighters instructions in here, as well as some Lego Creator Expert and Lego Ideas instructions inside of here. Again, it's kind of like the miscellaneous instructions bin, and I like how the three of these fit together. It's very easy to flip through and find old instructions now, so I like it a lot. And that's everything that we did in the months of December and January. So definitely a lot of new stuff this month, or I guess over the past 2 months. Lots of expansions over here. We've kind of really used up all of the space that we have here. There's only a little bit of space for new Lego sets. I'm really going to have to decide. It's going to be a hard decision to see like which Lego sets to add to my collection, knowing that I don't have a lot of space for more LEGO sets, so I'm going to be very selective with the ones I decide to buy. But that is everything for today. Definitely let me know what your favorite part of the LEGO collection was in this video, and definitely let me know what you thought of the entire collection as a whole down in the comments. I am very excited to add some more stuff in the month of February, though it probably won't be as much as we did in the last 2 months, but that is all for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to leave a like if you did enjoy the video, and we'll see y'all in the next one. Peace out. Bye.